It's time for another episode of This Old Carcass. Today I want to talk about people following other people's vlogs, which leads to the question, what type of people are coming to the Philippines, in this particular case, to find love? So let's get into that. So it's been very interesting in that we've been kind of going out of our way to find vloggers lately that are building homes, to see the different types of homes that they're putting together, the lifestyle, and where they're looking, which also leads to how to buy the property and all of that type of thing. But interesting how people need to dictate how people are going about their build, which ties to decision making. And what I find interesting is that a lot of the foreigners that come and find love, first off, it's often our second relationship or maybe more. So we tend to be a lot more tolerant of how to squeeze the toothpaste. You know what I mean? And so I want to point out the Armstrong family, who's been under ridiculous attack for some of the things that they're doing. And so let me list off a couple of just surface ones here. The first and foremost has to be the electric fence. Guys, the electric fences are everywhere here. And I don't care whether you're in the safest part of the world or if you're in the worst part of the world, the nut bars all come out at night. They all come out at night. You can buy these electric fence things that are based on solar, so they'll only kick in after, solar automatic turn on, right? And movement and all of that kind of thing. You can buy all that stuff on Lazada. So it's not unusual. And I understand that, you know, in a Western country, we're not putting up an electric fence and all that sort of thing. But when you call 911, somebody's a-coming. Here it could take a while, okay? And so let's lay that to rest. There is a lot of electric fences here, and the history is huge. So until you've lived the culture and you start to see it, and of course we all roll our eyes the first time we hear about it, but you got to put things in context, okay? Context is everything. Second will be decision making. I find a lot of Filipino relationships with foreigners are a lot more, what would you like to do? What would you like to do? And you go back and forth, and as we as foreigners try and embrace some of the culture, we start to understand some of their fears, okay? And one of them is debt, okay? Lynn has been one of these ladies that is focused heavily on getting money to pay for her family and get education, okay? So much so that most of the family did all their educating before Lynn decided to do college. And then along came me. And then finally, the adventure of building a house means that maybe where you've decided to build and maybe where you've made a decision on the type of house and all of that type of thing, maybe it's just not, ultimately maybe it's just not right, you know, and we do that in Western countries all the time. You know, when Lynn first came to Canada, I was ready to get that retirement home. You know the one I mean, that has the pool table downstairs, and maybe the jacuzzi and the view and all of that type of thing. And then Lynn just happened to say to me one day, who is going to clean? Now, she likes cleaning. It is her, it's her meditation, okay? And I've come to learn that. kind of drives me crazy with the amount of cleaning that she does. But it is her meditation, and I respect that. And she respects that I like to sit in the chair and do whatever I do. Or that when chores and stuff need to get done, they can get done when they need to get done. So we've got that balance going on. And I do find that a lot of successful Filipino relationships with foreigners is one where there's a lot more compromise. There's a lot less, no, I want this. It just seems to be a lot more of it. Now, in the case of the Armstrong family, they've decided to do a multiple bunch of things here. One of them is to sell the house. You know, they poured their heart and soul into this place. We learned a lot from them, so much so that we might do a polished concrete. But the bigger picture was, for them, it appears that, you know, having another build is another way of extending the growth of their relationship. And I can tell you, Lynn and I don't plan on stopping at one house build. That is not what we are about here. You got to remember that Lynn's finances is paying for all of this, not mine. This is coming from her. And I'm proud of her. She wants to do this. This is her thing. She does not want to feel burdened or indebted to me or anything like that. And so, you know, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. She's you know, worked her tail off and saved money vigorously, not vigilant, but vigorously. And so she's managed to put it all together, and she's building a house. Now, the garage ultimately will be a guest house, and we will have a carport, and, you know, as the land starts to spread out and as the home is here, things will tweak and change a little bit. But we envision buying another piece of property, and we envision, you know, maybe not a Western level home, but there's other family members. The next step, the next evolution is, you know, maybe we put a small duplex in with, you know, 25 square meters on either side for family, okay? They don't live the same way we do, guys. And so Lynn and I's evolution is, I wanted that home, right? Like I mentioned earlier with the jacuzzi. And she said, who will clean? And the next thing you know, we decided to try tiny home living and loved it. It puts me outside, it puts me hiking, it puts me doing other things than looking after a house. So similarly to this house here, Lynn's mom lives on a very steep grade. I've done a couple of videos of her place, and it looks like maybe now we've finally gotten through to her. It'd be much easier living here in the guest house. She can look after our place at the same time. She goes to her farm. She only needs to tend to it on the weekends. She's got some local kids that she's trying to help out because they have no parents. And so they are doing the picking and they get paid and all of that sort of thing. Got to remember, they have no parents. And we're making sure that these kids go to school. They came to my birthday yesterday. And they're such shy kids. We're trying to, you know, try this, try this. No, rice and chicken is fine. Rice and chicken is fine. I'll try this. So this comes back to a lot of the videos that I've done about what is the purpose that you are having to come here. First, you got to shed the shit. You really got to do it. Shed the politics, let it go. It's nothing but stress. Leave it to the next generation. Who cares? Let the world melt down. Find the holes that life offers you and bounce off the crap. I mean it. Let it go. It doesn't mean anything anymore. There's too many special interest groups out there. Let it go. Let it go. And what I'm going to say to you next is, get your butt to the Philippines. Start exploring. Like I said, go to Angeles, go to Cebu. Two different demographics where there's lots of Westerners. Get your feet wet. Have some Western around you so that you can merge into the Filipino life. Take the transit system, which the buses are great. They have aircon buses flipping here, there, and everywhere. And trust me, unless you're going to get extremely provincial, and Lynn and I feel that we are 50% on the extreme provincial, but we bought a car and we can get to San Remijo and there is a lot of expats here. Probably just as many as there are in Dumaguete. Dumaguete, for whatever reason, has just got a lot of expats that decided to vlog. But I can tell you for sure, there is a lot of expats here. And you will find a lot of expats in many areas that you go to. But let the stuff go. And if you're finding that you need to get on somebody's YouTube video and start pointing fingers, you're not ready for the Philippines, and you might as well just stop watching all of these types of videos, because you're wasting your time. You have to turn that head. You have to turn the brain. You have the opportunity to live two separate lives in this old carcass. Right? Later, Gators.